Good morning, and thank you for joining me with Story Time with Joyce. We haven't had story time the last 2 weeks. I've been out of town. And this morning we're starting a little earlier, but next week we will be back to our regular time at 10 a.m. Pacific Coast time on Tuesday mornings. So let's see where we are. Okay, we know that Arvin and Betty are from Kentucky. They met in Kentucky. Betty had a little farm, and Arvin's family had a large farm and was considered pretty well off. They went to a dance. They got smitten with each other. They fell in love. They got married. Arvin doesn't want to do farming. They moved to Chicago. He wanted to be with a big city. And in Chicago at that time, there was only two industries. It was either meat packing or garment. Those were the two big industries. And he chose to go work at a factory in the garment district making men's suits. And Betty signed up with a domestic agency and started working for Dr. Russell, watching the twins, Cora and Tommy, while he went to work. She also worked in the kitchen at the settlement house so that they could have a private room. Recently, what we've read is they have their new apartment. They're about to have a baby, and Arvin did get her new furniture for the apartment. They had worked very hard, saved their money, and Arvin went to a secondhand store and got couches and chairs and lamps, and people from the settlement house had chipped in and got him a kitchen table and chairs, and someone gave them a Hoosier cabinet, which was really big back in the day. This was the early 1900s in Chicago, where you could cook and keep your flour and sugar and salt. And Betty's best friend is called Serena. And this chapter is called Girl Talk. So let's see where we are, okay? Betty was just cleaning up her Hoosier cabinet when she heard a knock at the door. She was so excited, for she knew it had to be Serena. She put her rag down and ran to the door to open it. "Oh, Serena, I'm so happy to see you," Betty said as she was opening the door. "Come on in." "Betty, I'm so happy to see you as well. I've missed you so much, and of course everyone at the settlement house misses your delicious southern fried chicken. Although I miss some of the people at the settlement house, I can't say I miss the house very much." "Yes, I agree." As Serena looked around the apartment, she exclaimed, "Oh, you have a really nice place here. So warm and homey. Oh, and you have a Hoosier cabinet. How wonderful. Mrs. White has one, and it's so nice to prepare meals on the counter. You are going to love it. I already used it to make bread for us today. Come look at what someone from Arvin's work gave us. A crib and a dressing table. I need to clean them both up, but when I do, they will look brand new. That was so nice. I am so happy for you, and I see that you got the table and chairs from the people at the settlement house." "Yes, and I love them. I'm glad you guys got out of the settlement house, especially since your baby will be born soon." "Do you have a midwife?" "Yes, there's a lady in this building. That's a midwife," Arvin says. "Luck continues to be with us." "Betty, although Arvin may be right, both of you have worked really hard over the last 4 years. Quite frankly, I don't know how you kept up working in the kitchen and for Dr. Russell. You are a strong woman, Betty, stronger than most." "Sometimes I don't feel very strong. I just do what needs to be done. Arvin is so busy at the factory, and with some of the guys there, he's not around much. Dr. Russell has been so kind to us, that working for him has not been all that hard." "Are you going to work for him until the baby is born?" "No, I'm working for 1 more week. The baby is due in 3 weeks. "What's Dr. Russell going to do?" "He hired someone through the agency to be with the twins after school and to cook and clean for him temporarily. Dr. Russell wants me to come back and bring the baby with me after a month. He says that I'm like family to him and the twins. He's changing his work schedule at the hospital to 3 days a week, so I'll only be working those 3 days. Arvin and I'll miss some of the money, but Arvin got himself a raise, so we'll be okay. Plus, I'm going to take in ironing. I can do that at home and be with the baby as well. Maybe Arvin's right. Luck continues to be with us. Well, enough about me and Arvin. Let's have some tea. Like I said, I have some special homemade bread for us. I think that Dr. Russell is sweet on you, Serena said. Oh, hush up now and try some of my homemade bread, Betty said, looking a little flushed. Betty quickly interrupted her with, now stop that nonsense. I still say, Serena said, I think he's sweet on you. Now stop. Let me pour you some tea. Serena and Betty chatted over tea all afternoon. Betty felt alive with joy seeing her friend after so long. Serena was really her only close friend. They talked about recipes and babies' names and Dr. Russell and the latest fashions. Serena was still working for the White family. One of their children was just sent to Dunning, a medical and psychiatric facility, or to known as some, the insane asylum. She feared that she may lose her job due to the husband threatening to take the other two children and leaving. The afternoon flew by. When Serena got up to leave, they promised each other that they would see each other often. Betty walked Serena to the door and waved to her as she walked down the stairs. Betty poured herself another cup of tea. She walked into the front room and looking out the front window, she could see Serena waiting for the streetcar. All of a sudden, she felt a little homesick. Arvin got home just as Serena was leaving. Betty made a quick supper. They ate. They had their coffee in the front room. Sitting on their new couch, Betty and Arvin watched the activity through their big picture window until it was time to retire for the night. Their sleep was short-lived. Now, next week, we're going to find out why their sleep was short-lived. Thanks so much for joining me for Storytime with Joyce. If you want to pick up the book Betty, you can go to Amazon.com, look up Joyce Bennett-Hall. Betty is the first book in the series, or you can go to my website, JoyceBennett-Hall.com. Have a great week, everyone. See you next time. Bye.